This is KTVB. Live from Idaho's News Channel 7, Jerry May, Carolyn Holly, Rick Lance with weather, Mark Johnson on sports. Idaho's Nutt starts now.
There's a militia mentality. This is not anything new. They different attitude.
He is not talking about the gunman.
He's talking about Boise police and the people of Idaho.
A celebrity pathologist injects new controversy into the shootout. Good evening, everyone.
That man's autopsy findings and fiery comments. Top news at 10. That Pennsylvania pathologist weighs in on the deaths of Doug Broderick. Dr. Cyril Wecht says the shot at close range, and he questions the number of times officers fired. NIB reporter Austin is in the newsroom with more on the story. Austin.
Well, Dr. Wecht has been retained by the family of the Broderick brothers. Today, he performed autopsies on the dead men and released some of his findings. And that's not all. Dr. Cyril Wecht says the Broderick brothers were shot in the front, side, and back, and some of the bullets were fired at close range.
The range varies. A couple are close range, and others farther away, beyond a couple of feet. That could indeed have a great deal of significance.
But the Ada County coroner questions the Pennsylvania doctor's finding and out all the information.
He's made statements that would go through anybody's mind who's going to be doing those second autopsies, who may have those questions. You know, to me, I would rather not make those questions out to the public until I have answers.
Dr. Wecht is also offering up his opinion on other matters, saying with few exceptions in his 35-year career, he's never seen two people so riddled with bullets as the Broderick brothers. And he's calling Idaho different.
There's a militia mentality. This is not anything new. They have a different attitude.
Lieutenant Jim Tibbs is the Boise police spokesman.
I'm incensed by the fact that somebody who obviously is trying to become a legend in his own mind would be so insensitive as to make those kinds of remarks about a community that he's never visited.
For his part, Coroner Sonnenberg welcomes Dr. Wecht's involvement in the case and says they can work together to find the truth, but offers this suggestion.
Well, maybe he needs to come out here to find out how we think. Maybe our thinking can benefit him.
Tonight we also have some additional information about the night of the shootout. Police now say that two of the officers involved in that shootout had civilian riders or ride-alongs with them. One officer was accompanied by his 22-year-old daughter, the other accompanied by an Ada County records clerk. Fortunately, neither were injured.
Okay, thank you, Austin. Support for the Boise police is coming from many places. Perhaps one of the most touching came in the form of a poem from a young boy.
God bless Mark and all policemen who keep our city safe.
A visit to the Memorial Cross inspired 9-year-old Shane Wood to write this poem. He delivered it to Boise police tonight.
I know he was a good cop, and that's all I'd like to say.
Some of the officers who were at the shooting were there as Shane presented the poem. So was the policeman he asked to pray with him as he visited the shooting site.
I've never dropped on my knees and prayed in public in uniform before, but you know, there's something good about it, and I hope the people around me were touched just as much as I was.
God bless the Boise police. Love, Shane Wood, Chris Wood.
Writing this poem was truly a labor of love. A new and ugly response to crosses that were set up in memory of the gunman at the scene of the shootout. At the spot where those crosses were, someone dumped a load of horse manure. Meantime, people continue to bring flowers to the cross in memory of Officer Stahl. This was the scene last night when people angry about the crosses for the gunman lashed out, breaking their crosses and thrashing flowers.
A hearing is underway after 5 Idaho inmates escaped from a private prison in Louisiana. Now, 2 have been recaptured, but the other 3 are still on the loose, and one of them is a killer. That man is Roger Dale Babb, convicted of murder in Latah County. 2 sex offenders are also on the run. Another convicted killer is one of those who was recaptured along with a burglar. The men cut their way through a double chain-link fence. 100 prisoners at the prison in Boise, Louisiana.
Tomorrow, brighter news. Nearly 50 area businesses will announce their pledge to help Boise's youth. It's all part of the Boise Promise. Mayor Brent Cole's committed to a summit in Boise after the President's Volunteer Summit in April. Dana Drake shows us how crucial volunteers are Boise's commitment to our kids.
You need any help? Oh, you're doing a great job.
Tom Markland volunteers at the YMCA. He says building a better community starts with our kids.
It's awfully hard when you have to raise your children, and the community helped raise my children.
That's why Markland is giving back to a community that gave him so much.
You want to sand some more? Doing circular motions. There you go. Gives me a very good feeling to know that I am bringing happiness into the lives of these children and teaching them to do things that they might not experience.
Markland says structured programs are important for kids to grow up healthy.
One that we can, that helps build loyalty and teamwork and teach them responsibility.
These students from Mountain Cove Continuation High School use this climbing wall as they learn about teamwork and trust during a youth program at the Y. YMCA's Jim Everett was a Boise delegate during April's Presidential Volunteer Summit. He says Boise's promise is forever forward and make sure kids are our first priority.
We're seeing terrible things played out more and more frequently in Boise, and I think it scares all of us, and we can throw up our hands or we can say, let's do something about it, and this is an opportunity to do something constructive.
Take your sanding block, just like you were doing before, with circular motions, and then run it along the edge and get them smooth.
And building better kids starts with volunteers like Tom Markland, one who knows how important each child is to everyone's future.
When they do something that they know is it's their project, not be perfect, but they build it, and that's all that counts.
Dana Drake, Idaho's News Channel 7.
Boise's Promise will be held tomorrow in Ann Morrison Park from 10 a.m. until. If you're not able to attend, Jerry and I will be broadcasting the event live right here on News Channel 7. Also, the News at Noon will cover this event as well.
Marv Albert strikes a deal with prosecutors.
And he loses his job as an NBC sportscaster. Albert's plea bar at his sexual assault trial. This man on land, Britain's Andy Green, blazed across Nevada's Black Rock Desert at 700 miles an hour, and again within the allotted hour at 728 miles an hour. His average, 714 miles an hour, blows away the old record. That record, 633, was held by his team's boss, Richard Noble, the man who used to hold the record.
Yeah,
That's cat, huh?
some speed.
Yeah, 700.
Pretty close to the sound barrier there. Well, he's line up against Albertson.
Coming up, we'll have the latest on a lawsuit. That's next on News at 10.
And people who bite other people. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Hello, I'm Lane Corliss, General Manager of Sundance Dodge.
And I'm Jim Kelly, Sales Manager of Sundance Dodge.
We're here to tell you about a wonderful new direction our company, and most importantly, our people will be going in our community.
Every November, Sundance Dodge participates in what we call Feed the Family.
During Feed the Family, we identify different needy families in our community, less fortunate than ourselves, and set aside a portion of what we make and give back to them.
We can't tell you the joy that this brings to us, knowing we're giving back to the community that's given so much to us.
So starting now, instead of doing this just once a year, Sundance Dodge is going to select a different group of people in our community and help them every month of the year and not just in November.
This is our way of saying thanks to the community that has given so much to us.
Thank you, Boise, for helping us help them.
Coming up on Idaho's News Channel 7. See what Mother Nature has in store. Get the complete forecast from Rick Lance, Idaho's most experienced weathercaster.
Hope your sister remembered to come by and feed our little Tubby.
That's right. Our little kitty needs her. Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
She gave Tubby Viva instead of the other stuff.
So Tubby has a little low-fat milk. Who knows, a little Viva might even be good for her. Right, Tubby?
Tubby? Couldn't we all use a little Viva?
together.
Honey, I think we need a bigger litter box.
All that extreme stuff when I was your age, just didn't have a fancy name for it. Because I never had a Subaru Outback Sport either.
Too bad, Uncle. This beauty's got a ton of cargo space. Full-time all-wheel drive, more horsepower than a RAV4. Never did that, I'll bet.
Sure we did. But what's the rope for?
Outback Sport, part of the Outback family from Subaru.
In the ER, the crew using handheld cameras and the cast hoping they don't flub their lines. Welcome back to News at 10. The season premiere of ER shot live, like I have to tell you.
Yeah, they did pretty darn good, didn't they? You know, during part of the show, we saw the ER docs treat a child who had been bitten by another child. Well, maybe not a stat situation, but on Health Headlines tonight, human bites are more serious than you may think. Marv Albert's hotel room antics and Mike Tyson biting chunks out of Evander Holyfield's ears. Well, everyone has made jokes about them, but this Birmingham family knows that a human bite is nothing to laugh at, especially when it's a child that's bitten.
Maddie began to be bit frequently in her toddler's class at daycare, and I became concerned, and well, especially as the frequency increased, it began to be once a week. You can see the teeth marks, and it's very red, especially as it increased. It began to be once a week. You can see the teeth marks.
A girl.
Say you need to see a doctor right away. Waiting increases the risk of infection by 70%. You know, there's about 40 different microbes that live in people's mouths, and they are dangerous if they get into one's bloodstream. 26 Albertson's employees are joining a lawsuit against the Idaho-based grocery store. The suit filed in Boise lists complaints similar to those already in court, that the corporate giant cheats its workers by making them work without pay. A former manager at Albertson says there was always a demand for more work with fewer employee hours.
If that means working off the clock, you do it. You do what you have to do. I know hundreds of people that have done it because not only is it expected, but in many instances it's required.
We want to make sure that any aggrieved employee is treated properly and paid in full. And if they would share with us that information, we go to court.
Albertson says that today's added complaints are a calculated move by labor unions.
Well, let's turn to Rick now and talk about some changes that are on the way in our weather.
That's right. We had light showers. Hurricane Nora here just yesterday. In fact, we've been watching it for the past week or so. And if you're wondering about what's Nora doing now, well, she's breaking up in a tropical storm. She has wind 60 miles an hour, as you see here. Not only winds of 60 miles an hour, they've received 1.5 to 2 inches of rain, and there's the possibility in some areas of another 4 to 8 inches of rain. And they certainly don't need it there, as you see in Arizona. So that will be moving through overnight as well as a portion of tomorrow, if it's going to reach Idaho, and if so, how much, in just a moment.
A look at the people and places that make Idaho unique when the News at 10 continues.
Looks great. Fat-free? Yes, care to sample?
Ever since we introduced New Colombo fat-free yogurt.
That's for my brother Tommy.
People can't seem to get enough of it.
How many children do you have? Oh, I need one more for my wife.
They can't believe it's fat-free. The chunks of fruit, the incredible taste.
And my nephew, Enid.
It's the only yogurt that could cause such a stir. New Colombo fat-free yogurt.
My forks to the left, please.
One taste, and you'll go Colombo.
It's a family reunion we're having.
Introducing the new Jeep Cherokee. With over 40 advancements, it was voted four-wheeler of the year by virtually everyone. Check out the new Cherokee at your Jeep and Beaver dealer.
Good evening. We're going to discuss the satellite pictures in just a moment. Pay special attention because there's going to be a number of changes in the weather in the next 24 hours. More changes than a one-man play. Okay, so we'll show you all of this and probably about 3 or 4 different sets here coming up as to what we expect tomorrow. It's 70 degrees for Boise, 68 in Nampa and Caldwell, 68. The winds are northeast at 7 and the humidity 49%. just a trace of rain. Now, the high today was 87 as the clouds moved in about mid-afternoon. 74 is the normal. We're going to see a big change in this weather for tomorrow. Highs tomorrow will be somewhere in the mid-70s and likely the upper 60s for the weekend, so there's some of the changes there. As we look at the pollen count, this is high, 271. It's in the extreme category. Whew. Yeah, I don't know if you could take a deep breath or not, but with some of the light rain, we're hoping that this is going to help out for tomorrow. This is a look at the latest Doppler radar, and this is what's coming up. It's just kind of widely scattered and spread, light rain showers coming up from the southwest, and that's what's expected for the remainder of the evening. 87 in Boise, 77 for Payette, 82 degrees for Nampa. For highs and lows around the valley, and we'll see changes in these highs and lows for tomorrow. 82 degrees was the high today in Mountain Home. Parma had 84. Ontario was 79 degrees, so the first change is expect the temperature to drop about 10 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. Here's why. Tropical storm, and it's over Arizona and Nevada, and you'll see the movement of this is from the south eastward, more toward eastern Idaho, and the reason why this storm system through here, as small as it is, moved in from the Gulf of Alaska. This is colder air. The air is dense. It's heavier. So as this swings in, it causes enough pressure to push this slowly eastward. Now let me show you the wide shot of this whole thing. You'll kind of see, especially here in portions of eastern Oregon, how it's breaking up from this storm system. As it shoves this way, it's going to be shoving this one somewhat eastward, and as it moves through, that will cause, again, another shower, say about midday, when the front of this moves through sometime midday tomorrow. So tomorrow there could even be a little broken sunshine and then some clouds again with a shower, and then as this comes in after this is clearing up later tomorrow afternoon, but windy and cool. Okay, do we have that? Those are all the changes that we expect for tomorrow. That will drop the temperature into the upper 60s for Saturday. Here's the storm system that's coming up from the southwest. Still see some showers here, many sections of the southeast, and highs across the nation. We also have 70s here in the north, and it was sunny. Beautiful weather in the upper Midwest. It's about time. Magic Valley, scattered showers for tonight. And the same thing for tomorrow. Partly cloudy on Saturday. Sun Valley, some showers expected overnight. And even a good portion of tomorrow, which is the same thing for the mountains, showers off and on. Boise tonight, widely scattered light showers, temperature down to 60. And then tomorrow, clouds around, maybe a little broken sunshine. Remember, wind. I hope you get your mail tomorrow. You get just this, well, we don't have snow, but you're going to get wind, you're going to have clouds, you're going to have some sunshine, some light rain showers, temperature 75. The week settles a bit. It's the mid to the upper 60s. Kind of breezy on Saturday, though, okay? We get the breezes every time you have such a change in the weather, and we're going to have it again.
Oh. Jerry, bring your coat tomorrow morning as we do that broadcast at 10 o'clock. You've got some information about quite a deal, huh?
Yeah, indeed. Speaking of blowing out of town, Sean Kemp is going somewhere else. He's leaving Seattle. Also, some bad news for the Broncos, losing one of their key players for the big game against Wazoo. We'll have that story next.
In the field of sedans, under 13 grand, there's one that doesn't exactly fit in. The Mazda Protégé LX. The most room, the most refinements, and with a sport suspension, the most fun. All for $12,995. It's a whole different animal. Mazda Protégé. Lease for $189.
There are hundreds of area codes in the United States, and they keep... So if you want to find a business in Boston, a hotel in L.A., or your aunt in Chicago, it can be frustrating. But now you can find any listed number anywhere in the country with just one local call. Introducing 1411. It's not just local.
Hey, I found you.
It's National Directory Assistance from U.S. West. Here, simple beats complicated every time. Life's better here. U.S. West.
Idaho's News Channel 7's closed captioning from the Assistance League of Boise is sponsored by St. Alphonsus Orthopedic Institute.
So, what do you need for fall? A wool sweater, something in cotton, or in silk. The look and feel of natural fibers.
You'll find it in Style Essentials. Quality you can see, quality you can feel, guaranteed. Save now during the fall wardrobe building sale.
Style Essentials.
Saturn makes the car. Saturn of Boise makes the buying experience enjoyable. A fair price that makes sense from the beginning, and a friendly professional relationship that lasts well beyond the purchase. And now, Saturn has increased new vehicle shipments to Saturn of Boise. Take advantage of this unique opportunity to choose from our largest inventory in years and have a great time too. Near the mall, on Franklin Road, experience Saturn of Boise today.
We begin with news from the basketball court. Sean Kemp won, and by golly, tonight he got it. The Seattle Sonics shipped the unhappy forward to Cleveland. Yes, there's justice after all. The Cavs get Kemp and Sherman Douglas. It's a unique three-way deal with Milwaukee. The Bucks get guard Terrell Brandon and forward Tyrone Hill from Cleveland, while Seattle gets center Vin Baker from Milwaukee. Not a bad deal. But Coach George Karl says he's still sad to see Kemp go.
You know, when the trade happened, I can't deny that I was a little sad because I kind of remember the first year I had Sean, and where that started and where we've come and where we've gone is something that will be very precious in my coaching career, I think. I don't think I'll coach many players better than Sean Kemp or as talented as Sean Kemp.
Yeah, but Vin Baker isn't bad either there, George. You know, knee injuries happen in football. The problem with Boise State running back Gavin Reeds, besides the fact he is likely out for the season, nobody really knows when or how he did it. The junior college transfer made his much heralded debut Saturday night in Bronco Stadium. He scored a touchdown right there, rushed for nearly 80 yards to the win over Weber State. But today, while the rest of the team prepared for the trip to Washington State, Reed was undergoing knee surgery.
I don't know. You know, I don't see how, because he was out here making people miss, juking, boom, boom, touchdown, and then running, hitting a hole like I've never seen a back hit a hole in a long time. So that's discouraging, but that's life. And one of these other backs have got to pick it up.
Feel sorry for old Houston now, don't you? Football now, the Preps. Bishop Kelly and Skyview getting a jump on the rest of the high schools tonight in the Bulldog Bowl. What a night for the Knights. Tim Speck throwing your way. John Krakow pulls it in, and arm tackling will not bring him down. This made it 33-0. Bishop Kelly in a walk tonight in the Bulldog Bowl. The final was 40-20. Now let's take a look at some prep soccer scores. We got them here for you. The Braves are now 8-0 after beating Bora. These are boys' scores. Also, Meridian and Centennial both winners tonight. Also, Idaho City tonight registered its first ever volleyball victory, beating Valley Christian. In golf, Kevin Burton's 2 under par 70. Has him 4 back of leader Greg Kraft after one round of the BC Open from Endicott, New York. And for the first time in 11 years, the Houston Astros are divisional champs, coming against the Cubs tonight in the Astrodome, clinching the Central Division with a 9-1 victory. Houston will open the postseason at Atlanta. That coming next Tuesday. And if you stay at this video a little bit, you got to feel sorry for not the fans, not the Astros, but rather, coming up here, the Cubbies. They have to watch this, and they seem every year the Cubs just kind of watch as everyone else celebrates. Take a look at the scores. It was 9-1 the final. Houston over Chicago. The Dodgers a winner as well. Atlanta over Philadelphia. Montreal wins as well. And the AL was Boston over Detroit. Kansas City by that 2-1 score. The Yankees down Cleveland 5-4. Toronto and Chicago both win. And at last check, Texas leading Anaheim 6-5 in the 5th inning.
Okay, well, guess what?
Eddie.
It is time to cue John Miller.
He's got next with a trick shot artist coming up.
Ever notice how most dealers only talk about one thing, price? That's because price is the only thing some dealers can offer. At Bob Rice Ford, we always have the lowest prices. That's why we're Idaho's largest dealer. But we also have the highest customer handling level of any Ford dealer in the Treasure Valley. Bob, get peace of mind, where the price is right before the sale, and the Valley's best Ford service takes over after the sale. Come see your friend in the car business at Rice Ford, Boise.
Any bank can give you a home equity installment loan with a competitive rate. Any bank can give you 100% equity. Any bank can give you no closing costs. But only U.S. Bank gives you all these things and more in one complete package. After all, you don't want just any bank. To get a U.S. Bank home equity loan, call now.
On the next Idaho at Sunrise, we'll have the latest movie review for the weekend, dishing up a little soul food.
Also a preview to Boise's youth conference. That's tomorrow morning at 5:30.
Boise Town Square salutes these $1,000 winners in the 1997 Be True to Your School contest. Congratulations from Idaho's News Channel 7.
$2,000 cash back.
Best savings of the year.
For a limited.
Now, get the best savings ever on Chrysler and Plymouth's Best. $2,000 cash back on the award-winning Plymouth Neon and Plymouth Breeze. Or get Plymouth Voyager, now the lowest price minivan you can buy. Plus, there's up to $2,000 on select Chryslers. And for the first time, even $1,000 cash back on the best-selling Sebring convertible. It's the Chrysler and Plymouth Best of the Best clearance for a limited time only at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Later on an all-new Tonight Show, fresh from his live ER performance. Look, it's George Clooney! Then a shocking kiss from Ellen DeGeneres. Will she go for two? Will Dennis Rodman go for it? Plus a cop who barks like a dog. ER's Noah Wiley and a dead guy.
It's kind of like a freak night for you, isn't it?
On tonight.
He is known as the Grand Master of Trick Shots. Give Paul Gurney a pool cue. There's almost no shot he can't make.
The 18-time world champ visited BSU today, and he chalked it. Whole Life reporter John Miller.
Give Paul Gurney an hour and he'll drop one ball, then two balls, two ways, twice.
Yeah, I like that better.
Three balls.
Okay.
Four balls.
Now we got it.
You can tell he's good when you got like 37 cues in there. and a pool glove. I've never seen that.
And if you've never seen this...
This was the biggie in the 1960s. Got them all.
He makes up all kinds of shots. 20 years ago, he made up this one for a beer commercial that went exactly like this.
It's got a third less calories than a regular beer, and it's less filling, plus the taste is great. And even though some people don't think pool's strenuous, let me tell you something. You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just
missing. It took 191 takes back in 1978, which is a lot.
Even when you're just
missing again.
You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just showing off.
Oh, it was excellent.
Amazing, even cynical fans.
I could have done it in two.
And Paul Gurney could have pretty much done this all day long.
Here, let's try this, John. Just for grins.
Incredible shots, one after another, etc., etc., etc. Give him an hour, and Paul Gurney will absolutely amaze you.
It's an amazing world.
John Miller, Idaho's News Channel 7.
Boy, he's good, isn't he? Paul has also helped Q Sports gain Olympic recognition. In fact, they may be part of the 2004 Olympic Games.
Well, I want him on our team.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
All right, well, next, the Utah boys' journey to the White House.
It's not the visit to Washington, D.C. that is so unusual. It is the way he got there.
Heard about the 97 clearance sale at Greg Kruger's Roundtree Automotive? Every 97 car and truck must go. Pick a car, pick a truck, then pick your rate, and rates start as low as 1.9 APR.